Let's freaking go. Fun Saturday night of LSU live streaming. We're LSU football all the time, but I am curious, right? I care about LSU baseball. I care about LSU basketball. I really do. I just don't cover those sports, right? I keep it LSU football all the time on this channel. But obviously, the poll question tonight: which sport do you like better, LSU baseball or LSU basketball? I know Danny is a huge fan of all of it. I know Cliff's a huge fan of all of it as well. I think Skipper is more focused just on LSU football, which is obviously what I'm all about as well. But I do honestly care about it all. Like, I want LSU gymnastics to do really well. I knew Didi Bro fairly well when I was at LSU, so I'm all LSU everything, right? But yeah, we got a lot to get to today. We are working on a lot of projects for this offseason, including yours truly launching another channel, which, we'll still keep doing Power Hour LSU, but we're going to do also an SEC channel where, you guys bring up a bunch of general SEC related football questions. And I feel as if it is better, and we'll still talk about it here, but I feel as if it is better to just have a separate channel just focused on that. There's Danny right there, Skipper, Mick, Jesse, Cliff, the president of PHL, LSU fan, really excited about baseball being 2-0. So yeah, I care about the history of LSU baseball, whether it be, Paul Manieri or Skip Bertman or Brad Cressy or whoever. And LSU basketball, of course, is very underrated in terms of its historical impact. Three of the 50 greatest players in the initial 50 greatest players of all time in the NBA were all from LSU. That was tied for the most with Houston. So, it's impressive what LSU basketball has been able to accomplish, even though, of course, no national championships and, a few Final Fours. So I am curious which one of those you like better. Also, if you can really quickly type Y for yes, type N for no. Would you guys be interested in me doing a general SEC channel? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Obviously, we're going to give out an autograph card. We like to do it for pretty much every live stream. Rob is one of our many autograph card winners. Rob has quite a few of my favorite autographs. He got a Matt Flynn auto, and he also has a Craig Steltz auto. I still miss that Craig Steltz auto big time. Robert said, no, Robert doesn't want me to do general SEC. Well, King Robert, you're the one that calls the shot. Scott just wants me to do LSU. Here we go with these instructions again. Not really. I would watch sometimes. Well, there you go. Michael, what's good, man? Good to see you. If you have a helper to moderate the chat and keep the boxing gloves off. Good to see you tonight, John. Brett says no. Well, here's the thing. You get the best of both worlds. I won't quit doing this channel, right? It won't affect what I do on this channel. It would just be something on top of this channel, right? Because I have gotten requests to do it. I ignored those requests last year because, of course, I was just focusing on building this community of diehard LSU football fans. I will be doing more stuff with Blake, but no, it would just be like a separate SEC channel. So, no, I should have been more clear with the instructions. It wouldn't be that this channel would end at all. This channel is not stopping anytime soon. It would just be the additional channel where, I get this question a lot. Should the college football playoff expand? And should the SEC actually add the 2 extra teams? How is the conference going to look? So, yeah, Jesse, I'd be talking about Bama. I'd also be talking about Arkansas. I'd also be talking about Ole Miss, Florida, which has had a pretty good offseason. But yeah, but yeah, it wouldn't slow down the production of this channel. Now, I would still dedicate more time to building that other one up, but we're still going to do this channel, right? But Brett says no, LSU only. By the way, Brett is one of the first t-shirt buyers on this channel. SEC Twitter spaces are hardcore and people in there get heated and rough. So that's part of the reason why I don't take part in as many Twitter spaces. They just get so unbelievably intense. And now there's all these Twitter spaces that make up really false rumors. And yeah. Also, I have agreed. Well, actually, I'll save that announcement for another time. Also, I do want to make this announcement as well. I won't say who the player is, but we do have a verbal agreement with a really famous LSU football player who has agreed to come on this channel. And he doesn't do many interviews. So I am really excited about this opportunity. We have agreed on a date, but he's also a very busy person. I won't give away who it is. It's not Joe Burrow, but it's someone who is probably in that next tier of all-time great. So it's not a Tyrann Mathieu or Jamar Chase level player, but this guy, when he was at his peak, was one of the best. It is not Leonard Fournette. Rob, never stop this channel. You are the best of all the other channels. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate that. A lot of good LSU channels out there. A lot of them. I also think, I really do mean this. I also think I could do one of the best SEC channels. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of people that say, no, you're just biased towards LSU. Not knowing that I did a radio show in Arkansas for 5 years talking about the Razorbacks every day. I've worked with SiriusXM College Sports, where, of course, you got to cover all the teams. So, yes, I'm not going to reveal who it is because I don't want to say who it is and it just not happen. I'm going to wait till closer to time and check in with him then. I did give him a date. He did say yes, but if you're not in the media business, you don't understand this simple truth. People get busy. People can back out of things. But he seems pretty excited to do it. All right. Like with Jeremy Hill, like Jay Hill and I were friends before the interview happened, right? Van Lathan and I are good friends before the interview happened, as were the other two. This was just me messaging this guy out of the blue and him saying yes. So when you do one of those types of things, you don't want to push the cart before I don't know the phrase. What is the phrase? You don't want to put the cart before the horse. Isn't that the phrase? Somebody help me out here. It is not Tommy Casanova. But yeah, the SEC channel is not a financial thing, right? Because when you do a general SEC channel, normally it doesn't do as well as just a team-focused channel. It just doesn't. Some do take off, so it is a challenge, but that's why I just like doing LSU. But the reason why I'm doing the SEC channel is for a few reasons. Number one, I do want to grow. I do want to cast a wider net. But also number two, I do feel as if I could do a really fun SEC channel. Card YouTube channel. I already have one of those. I don't want to hear all the scandalous information of you doing other things. Let's see what's good. SMC. Football's my second favorite to play, but watch. Grew up playing out. Baseball was my favorite to play. Basketball turned into a sport where the athletes don't focus to the fundamentals of the game. Well, I would argue baseball has actually changed more than basketball when it comes to fundamentals just because of the analytics, right? It used to be in baseball, your job was to hit the ball to all different spots of the field. Now it's all about hitting the ball out of the park. Horse or mule both work. As you can tell, King Ulysses, I'm not the best cliche guy on the planet. So there's a few announcements before we actually get into it, but I didn't just want to start an SEC channel and just say, boom, here you go. This is it. All those are in the works. Once again, we're still trying to work out Justin Vincent's schedule. He's been flying and traveling, doing his LSU thing. But yes, Justin Vincent is going to come on this channel at some point. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. Let's go to Robert here. What's going on in the portal? I'll tell you this, Robert. I got an interesting message from this account, this Twitter account, and I won't say the name of the Twitter account before I actually get permission to share this information. But he did send me an interesting message about Kyron Lacy, right? So Kyron Lacy, for those that don't know, is a wide receiver who committed to LSU from the transfer portal. And he was at UL for a year, a few years, I believe. And when he was in high school, Robert, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's talk about Robert super chat here. What's going on in the portal? I do feel Kyron Lacy is someone very interesting, but I will tell you this, Robert, just over the past 24 hours, I have grown on Landon Ibieta. I wasn't on fire about him coming out the same way I've been about other wide receivers in the past. So, for instance, when Terrace Marshall was coming out, I thought he was a real deal. Now, once again, he was a 5-star. Everyone thought he was a real deal, but I was really, really high on Terrace Marshall. I was the same way about Jack Bech, right? I thought Jack Bech was going to be really special. So what I do is I go look at every LSU commit or just Louisiana prospects tape, and I try to focus in and say, look, is this guy special? Is he someone that is a true needle mover? And I really felt that way when I was watching Jack Bech. I was like, holy crap. Not only is he playing really well, he's playing really well in the biggest moments. He had a 200-yard game versus Catholic High, and I was like, okay, this kid is ready to play year one. I didn't feel that way about Landon Ibieta, and I'm not necessarily fully on board with him being a year one guy either, partially because of the depth, but, partially because of other reasons. But he's grown on me. When I went back and rewatched, I was like, you know what? They asked him to do a lot, and Mandeville last year wasn't really that great of a team. They were 3-7, but I learned that they had 3 different quarterbacks play because of injuries. So, whether it be the kick returning, the punt returning, the special teams, Landon Ibieta has moved up for me. More so as a year 2 guy when the depth chart clears out. But yeah, he has really, really grown on me as a year 1 special teamer and year 2 wide receiver. That's not a knock. I mean, Jarvis Landry was that exact thing. So, and most prospects are that. We were in a weird circumstance last year where, there was a lot of playing time to go around. So, Ibieta has really, really good speed. He is very special as an athlete. And, it's interesting, he was very effective as a Wildcat quarterback. Also, something else that I really like about him is that his football speed looks faster than his actual track speed. So as many of you know, he runs a really good 100-meter dash, but he looks faster on the football field. He looks like a true athlete, where there are other players, I see their tape, and then I watch them, I look at their track speed, for instance. And you guys know I felt this way previously, but Kendrick Law, take Kendrick Law, for instance. I thought Kendrick Law was a really special prospect at first, just because of his 100-meter time. He was just ridiculous. But I didn't always think it translated to watching him on the field. I didn't feel like I was watching, a true difference maker. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to be great at Alabama. I wish him, nothing but the best. But I didn't feel like he was a true needle mover. And maybe some bias has sunk in because he didn't choose LSU. You also have to factor that in. But I've really just grown on IBET. I really did. Let's go to John. So, Robert, as far as what's going on in the portal, nothing really. Obviously, Kyron Lacey being committed is a really good thing, but Tyler Steen is still prospect number one. The tight end from Notre Dame still hasn't made his decision. I'm sure LSU is in the running there, and Kari Coleman, a defensive end who just is from New Orleans. He decommitted, or he decided to leave TCU. Had a great year one there. Last year was his year two. He was very injured. So it's very, very interesting. So Robert wants a good offensive lineman. So Tyler Steen's going to be your guy. The issue, though, King Robert, and we go back to Danny here, who is the real proponent of this and the one who always reminds us of this. We still don't know who the center is going to be. So until we figure out who that is going to be, what do we know about our offensive line? We really don't know a whole lot, right? That's such a critical position, especially now, with more shotgun offenses and all of that. So you heard about Cortez Hankton. Yeah, it wouldn't be good if Hankton left, but it's just an interview so far. Yeah, so look, what's up, Tommy? Good to see you, Tommy and Tracy. Cortez Hankton, obviously, I'm really excited that he came back home to LSU. You can tell he's really excited back around some of his favorite people, his fellow St. Aug graduates, right? Carter Sheridan is obviously an analyst for LSU that would be working with Cortez Hankton. And then, of course, Frank Wilson from the same high school and Leonard Fournette. So I think some of you have seen that photo of those four together. Will Cortez Hankton actually take an offensive coordinator job with the Rams? Well, we do know this. The Rams were close to hiring Brandon Harris, the former LSU quarterback who decided to stay with Texas. Now, they weren't hiring Brandon Harris to be an OC, but they were trying to get him on staff. How true is that? I don't know, but it was a real thing. So, as far as Cortez Hankton is concerned, look, the Rams have had a lot of changes in their offensive room. And Sean McVay is a very influential guy. A lot of McVay guys turn out to be head coaches, right? So the OC for the Rams just got hired by the Vikings to be the next head coach. Liam Cohen, who was the Rams quarterback coach, is the offensive coordinator at Kentucky. So a lot of their coaches come and go, right? And Sean McVay is a very open-minded guy. Now, I'll say this, this isn't an NFL chat, but Sean McVay, to me, coached a really bad postseason, but he still found a way to win the Super Bowl. But overall, he is a great innovator. Now, will Cortez Hankton actually be the offensive coordinator for the Rams? I think if he was offered the job, that was a nasty burp. The first question I would ask is, would he actually be getting a pay raise? Because Cortez Hankton is getting $900,000 a year to just be the wide receiver coach at LSU and the passing game coordinator. Now, this would be the big question involving Cortez Hankton is when he decided to take the LSU job, how much promise was given to him when it comes to actual play calling duty? Does he have any play calling duty? Does he have any weight when it comes to actually being the play caller for LSU? Whereas if he takes a job with the Rams, would he actually be the play caller there? Or would it be Sean McVay? I don't know. It's a very fascinating situation there. I don't think Cortez Hankton is actually going to be the Rams' next offensive coordinator with essentially no play calling experience, right? He's been the wide receiver coach at most. Let me look that up really quickly. Has Cortez Hankton, what's up, DC Vlogs? Cortez Hankton, look at his resume really quickly. If he's ever been an offensive coordinator, he has never called plays. So, that's, I don't know. That would be So yeah, I just don't see that happening. That would be quite the jump from Georgia wide receivers coach to LSU wide receivers coach to passing game coordinator to Rams offensive coordinator. Is that something that he even wants to do? But if he was offered the offensive coordinator job at the NFL level, I would say he's probably going to take that. Unless, of course, he still wants to stay home, right? A big thing about coming to LSU is getting to, live near New Orleans where he's from. So it's huge. Bama Hammer says Chris from Tennessee is still in the portal. True. It's amazing like how thirsty we are for LSU football knowledge. Chris says Ibieta is going to be a beast. Robert says we need extra security on the offensive line. He says, "Get me 5 stars." DC Vlogs, what's good, my guy? Dellinger needs to play left guard next year. Cheers. I think they're going to give Deli a shot at center. He can make himself some money there if he balls out. Mm. But yeah, I look, if I'm Cortez Hankton and I get offered a job to be the OC for Stafford, Cup, and Robert Woods and Beckham if he comes back, and Coach McVay, it's kind of hard to say no to that. I just don't think you uh I read this comment wrong at first and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Balls out." I was like, "Hold on." I definitely think Hankton deserves that job, and I'm not surprised he's being interviewed. Just hoping he sticks around or maybe finds one that fits and want more. Yeah, I hope Hankton sticks around too, as well. I mean, we waited a while for him to take the job, and that's for good. Um, but yeah, let's see. King Ulysses is on the Landon Ibieta hype train. I like that. RD, what's good? RD, the newest member, like he's got the vintage PHL t-shirt on, which you could still get in the link down below. Uh, RD just joined the t-shirt club, and we're getting a huge shipment of shirts in. I know a lot of you have paid for shirts. I'm still waiting. There was apparently a holdup with the 3XL purchase. I don't know what happened. I don't know why there's a nationwide shortage of 3XL. In fact, I paid a little more so we could just get the full shipment in. So it should be in by Monday, I was told. But the 3XL just took forever. I didn't know that there was I didn't know it was so difficult to get 3XL shirts. But with the last company I worked with, which, I didn't have any hand in actually delivering the shirts. They didn't even have a 3XL option. So the 3Xs is what held a lot of this up. I like my guard to be a little bit meaty and a road grader type, and Dellinger is not that at the moment. I agree with you on that. He still is a little light, but he's not done growing yet. You know, if you've ever stood next to an SEC guard, they're grown men, right? I don't think Dellinger is quite at that build just yet. Ray says Landon Ibieta is that guy, pal. I just think it's year 2 for him. A bunch of fat people want shirts. Dang it. I don't think it's so much. Some people are just big boned. Some people just like to wear their shirts big, right? I used to be like the tight shirt guy. Now, I didn't wear affliction. Thankfully, I never went through an affliction phase, right? If I did, I would be drinking Red Bull and I would have a mohawk right now. Um, and I would have a barbed wire tattoo on my arm if I went through an affliction phase. But I did do like the tight shirt kind of thing. And I was like, you're chubby. You're probably gonna be chubby the rest of your life. Just wear your shirts baggier. No one cares. No one wants to see those jelly rolls. King Robert, another 50 spot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my brother. Robert wants to talk about next year's team. I still believe with the team we have right now, if we can give Miles more time or less pressure, we'll be a 9 or 10 win team without a problem. Miles can do it healthy. Y'all show some love to King Robert holding it down. Give me some clap emojis in there for King Robert. Obviously, helping me keep the lights on here. I freaking love it. And also, more importantly, being a great friend of mine. Fighting the evil sea. Gotta love it. Let's do this really quickly. Add this right here. I better see some clap emojis for King Robert. There you are, Jared. It's not a 50 burger. It's a hundo. What up, Jared? Danny! There you go. Danny, you're the most popular person in this chat because everybody during the last live stream was asking about you. Everybody. So here you go. Here's the schedule for next season. Robert says he sees at least 9 wins, a 9-4 season next year. I like it. But yeah, you look at the schedule here. Obviously, Florida State. That's a 50-50 game. Obviously, heading in with that game being in New Orleans. Florida State just wasn't that good last year, but they do return some talent. I don't know they do return some talent. Of course they do. They're Florida State. Do they live up to the expectations, though? Obviously, Southern, that's a big game. We should be able to win that game. But what's really interesting is that Mississippi State game in week 3. You should feel pretty good about that at home, but they're going to have Will Rogers back, and yeah, it's going to be tough. And then New Mexico. And then, it's very interesting the way that you look at the schedule. It looks as if in this 4-week period, you go from worst team out of the 4, Auburn, then Florida, then Tennessee, then Florida, then Ole Miss, right? I don't see LSU winning all 4 of those. I see them winning more than likely. More than likely, that's a 3-1, 2-2 stretch right there, right? Rob with the super chat. People spend too much time wondering about Miles Brennan's health when they should be looking at us true talents. Rob, thanks for the super chat. What do you mean about us true talents? I'm very curious, Rob. You always have good comments. I think there's a typo in there. Remind me to get to this question in just a second. The new member of the T-shirt club, that is none other than RD the Mayonnaise Kid. Looking at his true talents. So let me ask this question, and we'll get back to the schedule in just a second, Robert. because look at that. If your name is Rob, if your name is King Robert, or if your name is Rob, you know that you support the channel big time. I love it, man. I love the name Rob, right? One of my great friends just passed away. His name was Rob. I just love that name. Like, Rob is just such an underrated name, right? Rob, Bob, Rob. I love it. Freaking love it. Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate it. So let's switch up this question here. Let's see. It looks as if basketball won this poll question by a pretty wide margin. Very interesting. Miles has the talent. Let's see. All right, Rob G and Rob King Robert. This poll question is out to both of you and everyone. I'm curious. Are you guys just everyone in the chat? Does Miles Brennan's health concern you? Because according to Rob G, it doesn't concern him, right? And look, I'll share this, right, with someone who knows a lot of people in the medical field. I am not a doctor, but I know a lot of people that have been, in particular, in sports medicine, okay? So the first thing they will tell you is injury history does matter, okay? Every time, whenever you really start to evaluate a patient, you do look at their injury history, their injury record. But at the same time, they will also tell you that injuries are mostly random, okay? So, Miles Brennan could have a very troublesome injury history, but he could be completely healthy next year because injuries are so random. Some people are really durable. It takes a lot to knock them out. So yeah, for me, I do agree that injuries are random, and I understand that Miles Brennan at this point will be trying as hard as he possibly can to get his health, get as healthy as he possibly can, because he knows this is his last opportunity. But there is something to be said about a locker room always wondering about somebody's health, right? It does, as a player. I'm not a player. I'm not one of Miles Brennan's teammate, but you do begin to sometimes wonder if you could really rely on someone being in the lineup. I remember when I played, there was a guy that was just constantly injured, and he was one of the better players on our football team. We just couldn't rely on him, right? He just could never stay healthy. He had a bum ankle, and it just always kept re-aggravating. So it's very interesting. Rodney, that's a good question. I think LSU would get someone pretty quickly. I like Carter Sheridan a lot. I just think that the LSU wide receivers coach job is the most coveted wide receiver coach job in the country. And I think there would be a lot of other SEC wide receiver coaching jobs where people would jump at the opportunity to coach LSU's wide receivers because, they can make anyone look good, really. But yeah, Andrew says it was me. I voted the first yes. It was me. So yeah, and to follow up on the super chat, once again, big thanks to the two Robs. People spend too much time worrying about Miles Brennan's health when we should be looking at his true talents. I will say, all right, I go back to this meeting I had about a few weeks ago where one of my good friends is an offensive coordinator, came to my house and showed me his huddle tape. And he showed me how he coaches up his guys via huddle. And we went through some film study, and he was like, you know what, Carter, I really do feel Miles Brennan is a difference maker at quarterback, that he can really, really fling the rock and that he makes really quick decisions. And that was his evaluation, not mine. Um, and I trust him. He doesn't miss a lot when I ask him on a prospect. Um, and I didn't even ask him. He just kind of brought it up. You know what, Carter, this Miles Brennan guy can really play. So it's very interesting. Mick says it's not so much Miles Brennan's injury history, it's the type of injury. I would be a lot more concerned with Miles' injuries if they were to his knees or throwing shoulder. Very interesting. Look, there's people in, the LSU media sphere that is very concerned about Miles Brennan's health. Once again, one of my best friends, period, is Blake at RU Sirius. He's very concerned about it. And, there are some people that really do worry about that. And just in general, they're worried about the quarterback's room health because also, Walker Howard, if there was an emergency situation where we needed him to play, would he be healthy? He's also fighting his way back with two different injuries, right? A lower body injury he sustained during last season and a thumb injury that he's going through right now. So we'll see. Entire career is 3 games. Give a guy a chance. So here's the issue with this, Tommy, is that he's had multiple chances, right? So that's the issue at hand. It's the opposite of giving a guy a chance. Miles Brennan has had multiple opportunities to just separate himself from the field, and because of his health, he hadn't really been able to. King Alyssa says, look, I'm not concerned about the injury, but we shouldn't be worried about it because of the Nuss bus. And King Alyssa says, no, it's not a bus. It's a mother effing Amtrak, baby. Conductor, all aboard. It's one of my favorite. Thanks. All aboard. And they never say, whenever. Do trains even say that? Do train conductors even say that? Do they even say all aboard? Why do train conductors say all aboard? Because if you say all aboard, then what if someone says, no, I'm not aboard the train? The train's already moving normally when they say that. And it's kind of hard to stop a train. I've never understood that. I just haven't. Hope Miles doesn't do more of the hip thrust videos. He might break a hip. Wouldn't that be nuts? Hey, Walk-Ons has good food. You know what's funny? At Walk-Ons in New Orleans, shout out to Drew Brees. It was one of his. So at Walk-Ons, King Robert, thank you. So that Walk-Ons in New Orleans was the one close to the Superdome. I tried this beer, this mango beer, and I was like, this is pretty daggum good. And I had a few of those in LA, and I was like, this mango beer is on point. And Danny always trashes me for my fruity beer takes. But Danny, you can keep hating. And keep hating all you want, Danny. And ironically, Danny says, those are girly beers. You can't drink beers that have a fruit in it. Who cares? I'm a fruity beer kind of guy. Come at me. Come at me. I would bring Mickey Joseph back if Cortez Hankton left. I would as well, Robert, if there wasn't the whole Mickey Joseph being mad at LSU thing, right? Also think Brian Kelly didn't want him to be quite honest. And I think Mickey Joseph was also really excited to coach at his alma mater where he played. So I think it's better for all parties to move on. But I like your thinking. Obviously, Mickey Joseph was a tremendous wide receivers coach at LSU. I think it was just time for everyone to move on. So yeah, you know how it works, Robert. I mean, you in your career, you know how important those people skills are, and Mickey had them. It's just when Brian Kelly came in, the way I understood it was a lot of the coaches didn't like being froze out of their futures. And there was a lot of shuffling, of course, with the new coach coming in. And Mickey Joseph said, look, I'll go to Nebraska and coach at my alma mater and still make a six-figure salary. It's funny, Mick. I actually agree with this. I want the old Danny Avatar back. This just, makes me sad. I'm happy that you survived this accident, Danny, with the deer. But we want old Danny Avatar back. Why does the Miles Brennan Garrett Nussmeier debate remind me of the from Twilight? It is interesting though. So the Edward from I'm trying to get Robert Pattinson had a great career after the Twilight saga, right? He was in Tenet. He's been in a lot of other movies. He's gotten a lot of other big roles. And the other guy, the Taylor Lautner guy, didn't get a role for 6 years, but he still has 6 million followers on Instagram. And his latest role is in the Sean Payton movie. He legit didn't get a role for 6 years, but because, he has abs, he has 6 million followers on Instagram and he makes millions off of brand deals. It's crazy though. That is like, he didn't get a role for 6 years and it took that Sean Payton movie. Robert says, just saying that's who I'd want. I'd be down for Mickey coming back. The only issue is, of course, tension. Do I see Mickey Joseph as a head coach one day? Yeah, I could see it. Absolutely. Nuss probably transfers before fall. I doubt that. I really do. If the only way Nuss transfers is if Walker Howard just blows him out of the water during spring ball. I don't see that happening. I don't. Even though I'm really high on Walker Howard, I don't think he's going to ball out to where Garrett Nussmeier says, okay, F this, I'm going somewhere else. Also, it would just be dumb, right? You redshirted. You still have 4 years of eligibility to do what you want. I would wait behind an injury-riddled quarterback at a high-level Division I university. I would wait and just see what happens. I've seen absolutely nothing from Nussmeier to indicate he's the next great LSU quarterback. I disagree with this. If you say absolutely nothing, then you're discounting the Ole Miss game where he came in and balled out. Now it was garbage time, but he did some really special things in that small sample. And he also had some moments of brilliance, not only in, the small sample that we saw, but also in the spring game last year where, he did throw for 3 interceptions, but he threw some absolute dimes in that game. And something else that I really like about Garrett Nussmeier that we don't talk about enough are the intangibles where, every time there's a big play on the sideline, Garrett Nussmeier's there to help him out. When someone has a big fumble, Garrett Nussmeier is one of the first people you see on the sideline, patting him on the back, patting him on the head, telling him, hey, there's going to be another rep. I like that. That shows me some good leadership right there. Rodney is a Ricky Collins believer. I like it. Rodney, thanks for that super chat during the last live stream. I really appreciate you. The Batman. Yes, Pattinson, the Batman. Mash the like button. Also, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. That goes a long way. How many? We're at 18 likes, 21 likes. There we go. Good stuff. We haven't had QBs as talented as Nuss or Howard in the QB room for so long. I agree with this. I do. You know, obviously, we're taking Burrow out, but he wasn't a recruit per se. Oh, let's see. Danny did change the Avi. I like it. Huh? I'm starting to grow into a big Kim Mulkey fanboy. Nuts has a big arm than Menzel. Interesting. There you are, Big Al. Huh? Look at this. I love it. Make us a Danny lover. I love it. Let's see. Y'all remind me to talk about basketball at the end of this because I did watch the end of that South Carolina game. I didn't get to watch like the second half. Went to go watch Haley's nieces play basketball. And I saw a little bit more organization in those games than I saw with LSU basketball today. This comes from someone that doesn't watch them a whole lot, so full disclosure, but really blow a 14-point lead, and in crunch time, you're fouling people 94 feet away from the basket? Anyway, back to football. I like it. Ricky Collins believers on this channel. That's what I want to see. Danny cares too much about basketball. Huh? Yeah, that was such a bad loss. I am a Frank Martin, though. I like Frank Martin a lot. Minnesota Steve, welcome to the channel. Everyone, welcome Minnesota Steve. I think I've seen you in here before. Let me know. I love this profile photo, though, Minnesota Steve. You got the significant other in some LSU overalls with the tiger ears. I like that. And Steve looks like Minnesota Steve is rocking some on-cloud shoes, some khaki shorts, one of those Magellan Columbia shirts. I like it. Minnesota Steve. All right, everyone. It is Minnesota Steve's first time. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Minnesota Steve. Let him feel welcome. Let's see. All right. Boom. Let's get this one out tonight. Y'all show Minnesota lead. Welcome to the asylum. Oh, it's not your first time. Well, still welcome. I want you to be a regular, Minnesota Steve. I want this to be your community of LSU fans. By the way, how underrated are overalls? Like, for real. Let's do this right here. Boom. Put this right here. Let's go. What up? Good to see Reed. Reed, you've been cheating on me. I hadn't seen you in a minute. I'm kidding. I see Reed in here all the time. Big Al. Hey, Robert. Good to have Big Al in here. Bobby! Good to see you. So, guys, we got to step it up. Got to step up. Got to step it up here. So, next member of the PHL T-shirt club, or if you drop a hundo donation, we're going to give out a Jamarcus Russell autograph card right here. I'm a J. Russ fan. You can talk about his pro career all you want, but he's one of the clutchest LSU of all time. Arizona State throw. Who can forget that freaking laser? So I'm giving this one out tonight. $100 super chat. You're also getting some stickers and all that stuff. I also get a shirt. Obviously, I prefer it on Venmo or Cash App at Card of the Power. But yeah. What's up, Big Greg? There we go. J. Russ, an Alabama Tiger like Greg. Well, you live in Alabama. Big Al also lives in Alabama. Garrett also lives in Alabama. Ryan lives in Louisiana. Ooh, SMC, a 53-man roster. SMC with this lovely dog Zoe says no. 53-man roster. Love it. So who's going to join King Robert? Who's going to join Rob in the T-shirt club? And you get a Jamarcus Russell autograph card. RD, you're right. He could teleport a football to a wide receiver. I love it. What's the news on the Vandy offensive line transfer? Well, the issue is he's got all the leverage. Mick is in Alabama. That's right. Tyler Steen's got all the leverage in the world. Okay, so Alabama wants him. Every school wants him. And he is the clear-cut number one offensive lineman in the portal right now. We just don't know. We just don't know. That's right, everyone. If you are praying tight, pray for Big Al and his wife. His wife is also battling the evil sea. King Robert also battling the evil sea. If you are a prayer warrior, show some prayers. Show some prayers. Pray for our friends and obviously Big Al and King Robert. We couldn't have this channel without those two. So, if you are an LSU football card enthusiast, make sure you follow my new Instagram account at LSU Football Cards. I'll be tweeting out. I'll be IGing a bunch of new cards in the account. So there you go. Huh? King Robert, thank you so much for the very generous Venmo. But he says he wants a Jamarcus Russell card to go somebody else. Thank you so much, King Robert. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, what's up, Matthew? Good to see you, man. Mardi Gras in Shreveport. So this is something I do want to address here, okay? The most overrated thing is people putting New Orleans Mardi Gras as this way better thing than all other Mardi Gras, right? As the real ones know, there are hundreds of places in Louisiana to where you can have a great Mardi Gras celebration, right? Hundreds, not just a few, hundreds. I personally go to my hometown of New Roads, Louisiana. That's where I go. Okay. Um, there are a lot of people that go to Shreveport Mardi Gras. That's also great. Now, is New Orleans Mardi Gras the best? Probably. But it's not so much better than all the other versions of Mardi Gras that you can go to. Tracy showing some love. Minnesota Steve. Greg showing some prayers out there for our big Al, the treasurer of PHL. There's King Robert. There he is with the family. Look at this, Robert. Beautiful family. Look at this. Look at this. And that gets me emotional because I've obviously become really good friends with my guy, King Robert. Ooh, Danny girl getting spicy. She said, nah, there is no Mardi Gras in Shreveport. That ain't Mardi Gras. Dang, Danny. Dang. Who is this a reference to? Oh, Will Wade. Oh, okay. I love this photo, King Robert. The family, you got the little munchkins in there too. I love it. Mahmoud, Church Point, and Eunice. Showing love from the 612 RSX. Lucky Logan 005 is in this thing tonight. Let's go. Dang, Mahmoud Mardi Gras is pretty light. Ooh, Rodney. Okay, so let's do this. And I promise we'll get back into football related discussion. All right. Outside of New Orleans, where is the best Mardi Gras in Louisiana? Or just best Mardi Gras, period? It might be Mobile. I've never done Mardi Gras in Mobile. Where is the best Mardi Gras outside of New Orleans? Mamu. Mamu. Excuse-moi. Huh? Right now, tell me where the best Mardi Gras is outside of New Orleans. Let's see if I'm missing. It's good to see you again, Matthew. North Shore? Old vet said YouTube. It's right here. I love it. Rob, one of our top super chatters, says Mom Moo. I love it. My ratings are better than the slam dunk contest going on right now. Huh? I didn't know it was competing. If I were the NBA, I would have just paid John Moran $1 million to do the dunk contest and everybody would watch. Pass Christiane? Skipper, I'll be there in a few weeks. Are you going to be there in a few weeks? Let me know, Skipper, for real. Let me know. We can work something out. I'm in a wedding there, so I'm not going to have much time to do too much. But if you're there, Skipper, let me know. Iota, I don't even know where Iota is. I'm being completely honest. Church Point and Mom Moo. My card YouTube channel is Sports Card Collecting and Investing. I'll get you a link in just a second. Sure as heck ain't Houston, huh? I love that. Spanish Town. I love it. But Skipper, let me know if you're going to be in Pass Christian. I'm dead serious. That would be very, very, very cool. Oh, I know what I did. There we go. All right, Jesse. Skipper. Okay, well, I'll shoot you an email. We'll link up. Okay, it might be really brief. You live in Gulfport. Cool. I'm gonna shoot me an email, Skipper. After I mailed you a bunch of stuff. I didn't know Gulfport and Pass Christiana and all that were like close to each other. I don't know Mississippi too well at all. The only city I really know pretty well in Mississippi is Natchez. Outside of New Orleans, it's Mamu, Church Point, and Eunice. Anything outside of Louisiana doesn't count. But Steven, Mardi Gras started in Mobile. So that's gotta count for something, right? Okay, so Iota is in Acadia Parish. Here we go. Why isn't anyone showing love to New Roads, right? We throw down, baby. Where are my Matthew Langlois fans in here? Let's go. Point Capee. Y'all don't know. Y'all want to know nothing about False River, baby. It's a lake, but that's why they call it False River because it's not a real river. Y'all didn't know that, though. Yeah, Skipper, just shoot me an email here in just a second, and we'll work it out, man. So I got to book my hotel too. Galvy? Well, what is Galvy? Galvy. Big Al with the mic drop here. College football started with the Ivy League, but when was the last time they won a natty? New Roads. Y'all don't know New Roads? Come on. I used to go to New Roads Mardi Gras. It was fun. I kind of feel like Ryan would be kind of fun to Mardi Gras with. Kind of rank like who would be the funnest to Mardi Gras with. I think Ryan would be fun as you know what. Rob would be pretty fun, both of them. I think Reed and Danny would be fun to hang out with during Mardi Gras. RSX too. A snitch got me and a buddy ticket for fishing without a license on False River one time. Dude, they are freaking crazy about that. I have heard about this actually. Um, you know that they are serious about those boating tickets, man. They will get you on False River. Licenses, all that stuff. Freaking love it. Robert said he's bringing the tequila. I love it. That's funny. Like tequila was never really my thing, but I'm down. Every celebrity's making a tequila though, right? The Rock has his own tequila. Kevin Hart's coming out with his own tequila. It's crazy. There's a ton of celebrities tequila. Has to be cold. I've DJ'd many Mardi Gras parade. It goes down like 10 to Right, I know you're a DJ. I like that. Hey, Mr. DJ, put a record on. I want to dance with my baby. Who knows what song that is? Music makes the people come together. I fully agree with this. So part of the reason why I like New Roads Mardi Gras so much is that I actually ride a float. Uh, this year's going to be the first year I've been in, I think, 5 or so years. The biggest mistake though people make when they go on a float though is they get way too drunk too quick. That is the last thing you want to do. You don't want to get too drunk too fast on a Mardi Gras float. You will fall and you will roll and there's no stopping, right? Um, I remember my first time. They so on our float they had a one of those igloo work coolers where you pushed a little spout and in this huge tub and every float has a tub of like jungle juice or whatever. Uh that they put too much alcohol in there and it was potent and everyone was gone like 10 minutes into the parade and it was a you know what show, right? People were just rolling up and down the float. It was crazy. But that's if you've never ridden in a float before, that is the one thing you don't want to do because you will vomit. I saw vomit, especially if it's hot. You should, Rodney. Danny! Thursday, I'll did a roster talk. If we only get anyone due to penalty, doesn't that mean we are done and can't use our last 4 remaining uh, total spots, peeps, unless we clear some off roster after spring? So getting back in the LSU discussion, thank you for the super chat, Danny, to get us back on track. This is true. So LSU is currently at 81 players, and Chris English, I don't know if he's still in here or not. He was the one to let me know this. I didn't know that we were at 81 slots, but it makes sense when you start learning about Dre Jenkins deciding to come back and Todd Harris deciding to come back and Sony Fanua deciding to come back. So, one last thing about Mardi Gras, this is true. There are a lot of deaths. Like people get too drunk and they fall in front of a float. It happens. There have been plenty of those kind of things. But that's just Mardi Gras prep. It's already started. So there you go. It's going to happen. So right now, LSU can't take a transfer in because they're at 81 slots and they can't go up to 85. Now, it wouldn't be an issue if LSU didn't have these self-imposed sanctions involving the Odell Beckham cash grab thing and, the Our Lady of the Lake incident. But, that's where we are right now. And if LSU is indeed at exactly 81 scholarship guys, there's 2 things I think that's going to happen. The first is they are going to get more transfers, but the second and more important thing is players are going to leave, right? They're going to see the writings on the wall and they're going to go somewhere else so they can play. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of names. I don't think any of these guys are like for sure going to pack their bags and go. But take a look at guys like Josh White and Antoine Sampa. They're still on the roster, but they've never really played. A guy like Philip Webb, a guy who's played some in the bowl game and played some sparingly this past year. he could be someone that goes somewhere else and gets immediate playing time. And those three guys in particular were all top 150 players and above, and they just never really seen the field. And they're going to have a list of suitors that would want them in a heartbeat. Abbeville, what's good? Super chat. I live in Minnesota and never been to Mardi Gras. I like Minnesota. I've never gotten to go, but a lot of my friends that are in broadcasting got jobs there. Hobie RT, who I haven't talked to in a long time. Hobie was a good friend of mine. And Tatum Everett, who I still keep up with. She is the official team reporter of the Minnesota Vikings. So she gets to interview Justin Jefferson a lot, Patrick Peterson a lot, and she has agreed to do our live stream soon. So hopefully we'll get Tatum, her busy schedule. It's crazy. I've always wanted to go to the Twin Cities. I was supposed to. I even rented a car. I was going to like 8 or 9 years ago to go see a friend. Didn't work out. So yeah. Are you in the Twin Cities? Jared, good to see you. But yeah, I don't think they do Mardi Gras in Minnesota. I don't think so. I don't think you should. I don't think you should worry about. I don't think you should worry too much about the roster slots. They'll clear out. They will. Like if Tyler Steen says I'm committing to LSU, they'll process somebody. They'll make room. Towboat is on a towboat. One of the many fishermen of PHL, boatmasters. He's in Houston tonight. What's good? What I read, Carter, is that the NCAA passed a one-time waiver for all schools because of the portal to help roster management, so LSU may still be able to have 85. What you read is right, but I get what you're saying, right? So I do believe that was only in place last year, though. So last year, LSU could, in theory, have 93 scholarship guys because of the one-time waiver. I think you have to get back down to 85 this year, though. Now, I get logic here, though, Rodney, because what about the other players that gained an extra year? Do those players on the same team get to go over the 81 or the 85? I don't know. I see your logic, but I do think LSU has to stay at 81. I do. But yeah, Lucky Logan, let me put it this way, okay? So I get this question a lot, right? So I was talking to one of our partners, one of our supporters of the channel. I'm going to save that announcement for the next live stream. But he was asking me about our listenership, right? Our viewership. Now, a good percentage of you have been to Louisiana and gotten to live in Louisiana. Some of you don't live in Louisiana anymore, like Danny lives in Georgia, Mick lives in Alabama, Greg's in Alabama, King Robert's in Houston. A lot of you are all around, okay? But there's people like RSX that are big LSU fans, but they don't ever get to go to Louisiana. So I get asked this question from my friends around the country all the time. Should they come to Mardi Gras or should they come to an LSU game? And honestly, it just comes down to your priorities, right? I always choose the LSU game for them because I think it's just a better experience. But Mardi Gras is incredible too. I mean, it really is. So yeah, RSX, I would tell you to try and make both. But if you've never been to Tiger Stadium and you are a big LSU fan, and let's just say, time passes and for some reason you're not able to go, you don't want that to and RSX, I think you told me you've never been to Tiger Stadium before. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I I always pick Tiger Stadium though. LSU game over Mardi Gras. Okay, Mall of America. I love it. I want to go. I do. I've always liked malls. Her Mall of America is just insane. Jared, you never been to an LSU game? Dang, it looks like it's near 100. It seems like it's near 100% Tiger Stadium over Mardi Gras. When the music stops, I want to dance with my baby. Music makes the people come together. No. Guys, I'm starting to become Landon Ibieta truther. You guys are talking me into it. You've been to Mardi Gras, but no Tiger Stadium? Appreciate it, man. Gotta have fun with this. 7 p.m. kickoff. It's an all-day event. Yeah, you know what's funny? I would probably take a good college football tailgate over Mardi Gras as well. I know that might be sacrilegious, but it is what it is. So a few things, Bang Hammers. The first thing is, I started doing some deeper research, right, on what makes a great wide receiver prospect. And something I found to be very interesting is this movement on Twitter to track what is your top speed, like what is the fastest your body can actually go. And Ibieta has a top speed of 20.6 miles per hour, where a high school recruit's average is 20.3 miles per hour. So that means that his track speed actually transcends on the football field. He's faster than, your average high school wide receiver prospect, right? And look, a lot of people view him, well, he's a possession receiver and he's only going to play the slot. Once again, he's actually just a deep threat. Like he is a true burner. He can play the slot, but he mostly played outside. He is a field stretcher wide receiver. So he has really good top end speed. Something else I really liked about him is he put up numbers on a bad team. And look, there's no other way around it. When you have 3 different quarterbacks get hurt and you still have a really good season where you go over 1,000, total yards, that's really hard to do when you have all these different quarterbacks. So they started doing a bunch of direct snaps to him to where they ran the Wildcat. And it was great. It was great to really see that with Landon. So, also as a kick and punt returner, he was also very prolific. So he's grown on me. But, is he so good that he's better than what LSU's young receivers are right now? Probably not. He's not in my Jack Bech, Terrace Marshall, where I can 100% tell you that this guy is going to be a really good player at LSU. But at first I wasn't as gung-ho about it as I am now. I'm starting to get more excited about it. What would be the best game to go to / hiking of going this year? I don't know the hiking. But the best game to go to this year? I'll tell you this, RSX. The best one to go to would probably be Florida State, because we're doing a huge PHL meetup. Hopefully Friday, September 3rd. We're already started planning for that. Wait, Minnesota Steve? Are you actually in Minnesota? RSX is also in Minnesota. I didn't think Minnesota would be a big PHL haven. And y'all be on the lookout for Tatum Everett joining the live stream soon. Not tonight. Oh, of thinking of going this year. Okay. Gotcha. It's obviously Florida State, but that game is in New Orleans. So once again, that'd be a fun game to go to. We should be doing a meetup on September 3rd. But really, the game that I would actually pick is he escaped in Georgia. The game that I would pick is actually the Southern game, right? Number one, that game is more than likely going to be at night. Normally those games, I don't see that game being an 11:30 kickoff. I don't. So if that game is not going to be at 11, that means it's going to be at night, because CBS is not going to pick that as the game of the week. So I would guess the Southern game is going to be at night. It is a season opener, so prices are going to be up a little bit. But, you're going to get an affordable ticket for the Southern game. Or I would go to the New Mexico game. You do run the risk of that game being an 11 a.m. kick. But the good news is that that's more than likely going to be a night game. Whereas a Mississippi State game, I could see that being an 11 a.m. kickoff. I can. You obviously would prefer a night game. And the thing that sucks is that you don't know what times the games are going to be played, right? So, depending on how the season goes, Ole Miss could be a day game. I would guess Alabama wouldn't be a day game either. But the thing about going to the Alabama game is that the tickets are going to be very expensive because it's the Alabama game. So it obviously comes out to your budget, but the best game to go to obviously is Alabama. And I would go on ahead and plan to go to that game and just be ready to pay a premium on the ticket. But the good thing, if you've never been to Tiger Stadium before, is you get to see two iconic brands in the flesh, right? You get to see the LSU and Alabama brand playing each other, right? I'm not really a college football historian, but it does matter a lot to me to see these brands play. So a few years ago for the LSU Texas game, I was supposed to go cover the game for SiriusXM, and I had everything planned out. I knew where I was staying. I knew I had a whole thing planned out, and then 2 days before I was getting ready to go, SiriusXM called me and said, "Hey, we already had someone covering the game. We don't have a pass for you anymore," and I couldn't go, and that sucked. And that was the 2019, obviously 3rd and 17 play, and I would have been on the field to see that play happen. So the point though is, you never know when these games are going to be played. Also, you never know when you're going to get another opportunity to see the iconic brands play. So a big reason why I'm going to the LSU Florida State game is that I grew up watching Florida State. I liked Florida State. Peter Warrick was one of my favorite players growing up. Obviously, I was a big Warrick Dunn fan because of the Baton Rouge thing. And, uh, you know, Catholic High, I mean, Warrick Dunn was a Baton Rouge icon. So yeah, it was a big deal. So RSX, I would say your best game is going to be Alabama, because number one, you're probably going to get a night kickoff or a 2:30 kickoff, and if it is a 2:30 kickoff, that game will last into the night. Because it is CBS, those games are longer, and it'll also be November, where the sun is going to set a little bit quicker because of the time change, and plus, you get to see Alabama. The thing is, you're just going to have to pay the premium on the ticket. That's the thing that's going to suck. So, unless you get a New Mexico or Southern, your ticket's just going to be and plus hotels are going to be much more. So it's better to just go ahead and start planning. But really, the Southern game is going to be really good, right? There's going to be a lot of you have to admit this is a pretty historic game, right? Especially if you've lived in Baton Rouge and you understand the history between the two schools. So there you go. Let's go. What's up, Aaron? Good to see you with the Jacob Phillips photo. I love it, man. Can't beat it. Quick Jacob Phillips fact. So Jacob Phillips, when LSU would play a night game, after the game was over, he would actually drive throughout the night to go to North Louisiana and go hunting. He would just stay up all night so he can be up at 4 a.m. to go hunting. He is an avid hunter. Mm. The next game. Let's go. What up, Foggy Bottom? The good thing, though, is Aaron, RSX, it is good to go to a game where LSU actually wins. So Southern and New Mexico are both going to be for sure wins. I think. Cameron. I've never heard of Cameron, Louisiana. Let me see. Lake Charles. Love it. Florida State game. That's what it's probably going to be. What's up, Ryan W? A member of the T-shirt club. Did the shirts? Did the kids love the cards? Let me know. I think I threw a Jeter and a Jordan in there for you. Yeah, New Mexico State game wouldn't be a bad game to go to either. Once again, you do run the risk of that being an 11 a.m. game. Thank you. Does she want to be on the camera? No, see, baby. Yeah, New Mexico's not a bad option either. RSX. Oh, dang, Ryan. I hate to hear that, man. I really hate to hear that. How you feeling? Are you feeling better? I know Mick has been going through it as well. There's a lot of people that feel this way, Andrew. The only good thing about Mardi Gras is a king cake. A lot of local New Orleans people just don't like Mardi Gras and the city pickup, the activity, the traffic. A lot of locals, I can see I can get old. I'm rocking the booger band. Yeah, Ryan, I know how that could feel, man. Actually, I don't have kids. So shout out to all the super dads of PHL. Always shout out to super dads. I hate that, Ryan. I really do. I really, really do. Mick has gone through it. I think Jared has been through it. Sucks. But I did yard work yesterday and just been chilling. Need to get back to work ASAP though. That is crazy, right? Like, man, it's just nuts. Hope you feel better, Ann. Andrew, there's a lot of people that feel this way about Mardi Gras, right? They don't want to deal with the I haven't checked the poll in a while. Tiger Stadium. 65-35. I thought it would be 2 out of 3. But yeah. Tigers will be 6-0 going into the swamp. 6-0. I like that. Glad the shirts came in great though. Let's see. I still need some Foggy Bottom BBQ. LSU's 2-0. I don't know the score. I know nothing about LSU baseball. Even though the question, it was just a poll question. Which one do you like better, LSU baseball or LSU basketball? I like LSU basketball better, but I like LSU baseball just fine. Never hadn't been to an Alec Bach game in quite some time. The last college baseball game I went to, it's been about 4 or 5 years. Let's see. LSU 17-6, and like a good blowout. Oh, we're up to 81. We're at our highest number of viewers. So let's hit another gear. Let's go. Let's go. Whoever super chats the next topic, I'll go straight to it. I'm gonna make sure I don't miss anyone. FACP, is your job in the sports media business? I get this question a lot. And the answer is yes. I've only had sports media related jobs. Now that's led me to doing other things, right? So like I had a country music show, I had an R&B show, stand-up comedy, wedding DJ, still do some of that as well. But I've never had like just like a 9 to 5, right? Kind of wish I did because I would have more money now. But yeah, that's all I do. The LSU YouTube channel is the only thing that, it's 90% of my income. Now I do some college basketball stuff. Once again, that season just ended for me. But yeah, I do some random radio stuff for ESPN radio on the East Coast. But yeah, I get that question a lot. Let's see here. Ryan says a Tennessee game has me nervous. It should. Yeah, I mean, they have an innovative coach. They have arguably the better quarterback with Hendon Hooker, but they do lose some key receivers. Obviously, Jones is a really good player for them, number one, who's leaving. But yeah, it's not easy to play Tennessee in Tiger Stadium after going to Auburn. That's a tough back-to-back. It's going to be tough, playing the hurry-up offense. Banks says I've got Burns, free safety, Fuchsia, strong safety, Gardner, and BC in the nickelback, Jay Ward. I think Sage Ryan is going to start. I do. I think Sage is going to start somewhere. So, yeah. Let's see here. David, unfortunate last name, obviously. No, I don't think he's going to leave. If he gets offered, he'll leave, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to be the number one candidate. Tiger Stadium Saturday night, best place on earth. I love it. That is true, Kobe. No doubt about it. I do agree with this. The LSU over Mardi Gras thing. I could see Sage moving to safety though. I could see that. I saw this earlier. Okay, so I know I'm mostly LSU football, but CJ McCollum, who is balling out for the Pelicans, says he has not spoken to Zion Williamson. I mean, what the heck is going on? I mean, I'm about to just. I'm so glad I didn't buy more Zion stuff. I hate that we kind of named our dog after Zion, and I'm not going to trash the kid after just 1 year. But what is going on? What is going on? This is starting to really piss me off because I know a lot of you have bought Pelicans tickets and we got excited about it. I mean, what the heck is going on? And then also see this, that Matt Corral right now is plus 900 to be the next quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So does that mean that Matt Corral, the Saints are looking at Matt Corral? I don't know. I agree with this bang. Carrie, good to see you. Keep Brennan healthy and we'll be fine. No worries. The dunk contest sucked tonight. They need to just pay John Moran $1 million and let him go ham. Does Perkins get to play both ways? No. Let him play defense at first and then kind of figure it out from there. But yeah, Aaron, it's looking like the Florida State game. Let's see. So there you go. All right, guys, we are approaching 2 hours. 1:42. We normally go 2 hours. Once again, next person that joins the PHL T-shirt club, you're getting a Jamarcus Russell autograph card right here. Sage autograph. It's got this little barcode on it. Let me see what happens if you actually put this on here. What is that barcode about? Let's see. So we'll keep going for about another 5 minutes. I'll answer as any related. It could be a question about anything. We talked a lot about Mardi Gras tonight, which was pretty cool. I'll answer LSU basketball questions. I don't know anything about LSU baseball. I know the pitcher's last name is Money, or one of the pitchers. Thank you, Carrie. I don't know why there's so much Jamarcus Russell hate. Why do people hate Jamarcus Russell so much? The laziness didn't come in until the NFL, right? At LSU, he was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I don't know why people laugh at Jamarcus Russell. I don't know why. He was great. He was a great LSU quarterback. He is, to me, the second best quarterback of this era. But yeah, Ryan, I would be interested in other T-shirt designs. Just hit me up, man. Got my email. Dude had a cannon, and he does love LSU. Last time I ate at Bill's Oyster House. Last time I ate there, I saw Jamarcus Russell there with his family, and he's still decked out in LSU stuff. Don't you think the one person that regrets him doing what he did to himself is himself? He's pissed off at himself for wasting everything. Okay, because he embarrassed LSU pretty bad. How? Tell me how. Everything he did was with Oakland. It had nothing to do with LSU. He had, to my knowledge, there was nothing that happened at LSU, right? And we're acting, I don't look at Washington State quarterbacks and say, look, Ryan Leaf really tarnished your legacy. No, he did. I don't think he embarrassed LSU at all. He himself is an embarrassment. Now, it would be different if there was a history of LSU players that screwed up off the field at the NFL level. And there are some that screwed over their careers. And yeah, he is one of the biggest busts of our era. But every single university has had a colossal bust. Okay? Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State. Now, he's still not done, but he screwed himself over pretty badly at Washington. Alabama had Trent Richardson. Washington State had Ryan Leaf. I blame Lane Kiffin for Jamarcus's downfall. Some of that might be true. I still blame it, and Jamarcus would probably tell you as well. He probably blames it himself, right? Johnny Manziel, same thing. Now, Johnny Manziel himself has said that he didn't work hard enough at Texas A&M. Sip, a new father. I know you've been missing out on some live chats because you've been doing the dad stuff. But yeah, Jamarcus Russell screwed himself. I'm still a huge Jay Russ fan because every time he put on the purple and gold for LSU, he won us so many close games. That Ole Miss game was freaking ridiculous how many clutch throws he had to make for us to win the game. And keep in mind that Jamarcus Russell did this in spite of Les Miles. Knowing what we know now, Les Miles is not the guy that is known for being a quarterback guru by any stretch of the imagination. Now, did it help that he had Buster Davis and Dwayne Bowe? Yeah, it did. And, Dwayne Bowe turned out to be a really good NFL player. But, this idea that we should look back and laugh at Jamarcus Russell is especially for LSU fans, we can acknowledge that, he didn't do himself any favors, but he's still one of the best LSU quarterbacks of all time. And, as far as the best LSU quarterbacks of all time, he is a solid number 2 behind Joe Burrow. I actually got 2 sons. Yeah, I know you just had a child. So congrats to you, Sip G, being a super dad. The one is right here playing zombies with me. Good to see you. Plus, as we know, the Raiders organization is not necessarily known as a haven for developing talent. But I do agree, Bang. It didn't do LSU favors that Jamarcus Russell didn't ball out. But at the same time, we should, like if you see Jamarcus Russell walking around, unless he's like sitting down and eating with family or whatever, you should thank him for what he did for LSU, right? He won us a freak ton of football games, a freak ton. He won us a Sugar Bowl. He won us a BCS Bowl. Let's see. I would take Burt Jones over Jamarcus. I was more so saying modern era LSU. Let's see. Yeah, don't hug him. Huh? 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 You'd be a little freaked out. But just say, hey, man, thanks for all you did for LSU. Modern. I mean, yeah, Burt Jones. Burt Jones is probably number two. The Ruston rifle. Yeah, you should feel bad for him, though. I feel bad for him. I just hate it, though. You always got to live with that, right? It would have been one thing if he would have just gone out there and not been good, because if he would have just went out there and just wasn't good, if he just wasn't good, then there would have still been a bunch of teams that took chances on him, and he could have, accumulated salary that way, right? Kind of like what Josh Rosen is doing. Josh Rosen is not a good professional quarterback, but because he was such a high draft pick, teams are going to keep using picks on him. And as long as he stays in decent shape, he's going to get a lot of these practice squad type of jobs, even though he can't play. You know, if you just flame out for not working hard and being overweight, then you're only screwing yourself for other opportunities. Yeah, well, Skipper is holding up a card of Billy Cannon, so he's like, don't leave out the non-modern guys, right? That Cajun food will catch up to you. But anyway, shout out to all the top super chatters for tonight. King Robert and Rob G are two top super chatters tonight, but also Danielle super chatted. A lot of you super chatted tonight. Rodney D, all our day one. Skipper's been here the full 2 hours. I really appreciate you. But yeah, this was fun. We talked a lot about Mardi Gras tonight, talked some Landon Ibieta tonight, talked some just basically, normal off-season chatter, right? We do move one step closer to spring football, as you could see. Let me move Jared's Cajun food comment. As you can see, these are the spring practice dates. March 24th is when it starts, 24th, 26th, 29th, 31. April 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, 14, 16, 19, 21, 22, 23. April 6th, and the spring game is April 23rd. So, as the old vet tells you, please hit the like button. That obviously goes a long way for helping the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button. And as I always say, one of the best things you can do, a lot of you have friends, right? Think of your one friend that is a diehard LSU football fan. Share this channel with them, right? It might not be their thing. I have a lot of friends that love LSU football. They just don't like this kind of stuff. But if you can think of someone, just think of someone that is a diehard LSU football fan, and let them know about the channel. It helps. Word of mouth is always the best way to share. And obviously like the video. I'll see you, Greg. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Burgers tonight. Let's go. Let's go.